Thank you. Y'all may be seated. Let's give the students a hand for being part of our meeting tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the mission of the Clint Independent School District is to prepare all students to be successful citizens. The district will work in partnership with the community and the family to create opportunities for the students to maximize their personal potential. It's that time of our meeting that we set aside for a public forum. Do we have any participants tonight? Okay. Since then, we'll move on from public forum to our next item. This time, it's my pleasure to turn the meeting over to Dr. Martinez for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Bendel, members of the board and audience. At this time, I just, as we get closer to the end of the school year, I just want to thank our school, our teachers, administrators, everyone who works in our schools to make sure that we had a very successful year. Just in the areas of athletics and fine arts, I have 3 pages of accomplishments of our students. We award them, we had the award ceremony just recently, but even after that, we had so many successes that it will be a long time to read all of this, awards for our students, going all the way to state competitions in choir, from Montana Vista, East Montana, Mountain View High School, Clint High School, Horizon High School. We had band, orchestra, you name it, dance, choir, all kinds of accomplishments this year. And I am extremely proud of the accomplishments of our students. It will be nice to read all of them, but it'll take too long. There's so many of them. In athletics, the same thing. We had by-district champions. We had a silver medalist at the state level from wrestling. We had regional qualifiers from all across the district. And baseball did extremely well from all the 3 high schools. And of course, we now have Clint High School at Sweep 16, so let's give them a round of applause to them. And we wish them the very best. They are representing all of us now at the Sweep 16, round of 16, so we wish them well. So again, I am extremely proud of the accomplishments of our students in the areas of fine arts and athletics. From Clint to Mountain View, Horizon, everywhere we had an extreme success, but it's all due to the great work of our teachers and our coaches and everyone that works with them. Also as important, we had now Terry Scholars in our district and Texas Leadership Scholars as well. So these ones I am gonna read them individually. They will continue maybe additionals but these students already have been awarded these awards for academics. So Jimena Delgado from Mountain View High School is a Terry Scholar, everything paid to go to UTEP, so congratulations, Jimena. We're very proud of you. Lorenzo Lagarreta from Terry Scholar, everything paid to UTEP from Clint High School, congratulations, Mr. Lagarreta. Flor Valenzuela for Terry Scholar to UTSA for the University of Texas San Antonio from Clint High School. Congratulations. Again, Stephanie Arroyo from Clint High School as well from the Texas Leadership Scholars Program. So congratulations, Ms. Arroyo. We're very proud of you. From the Clint Early College Academy, we have 3 students. Giovanna Gomez, please give her a hand of applause. Lander Marrero and Adriana Buhanda, all of them Terry Scholars from the Clint Early College Academy. Congratulations to all 3 of them. From Horizon High School, we have Janet Quinones, Texas Leadership Scholar Program. She is awarded a scholarship, and Omar Fimat. So congratulations to all of our students. And again, these are only some of them. Normally we get thousands and thousands of dollars in scholarships, but these are the most, the ones that get the majority, the highest amounts, the most prestigious ones. So we want to thank all of the students and congratulate them and their parents on their success. Again, as we close the school year, I want to thank our parents for their support for our schools. And I do want to remind the parents, if you're watching through YouTube, there are some trends and some students here. So if you are seeing those trends of Chromebooks, please stay away from that. It's not, we will be very serious in making sure that any of those students participating in this not so appropriate activity, we will make sure that students will have to compensate the school district for all those damages. So please make sure that we are not making the news for anything like that. We are better, we teach you better. We pride ourselves in being respectful citizens, as we read, Mr. Pendle read from the mission of the school district is to make sure that you are respectful citizens and working with the families to make sure that you have all the proper opportunities to maximize the students' potential. So this is not one of them, even though it came out on TikTok and some of you like it. However, do not practice it because we will not accept that in our school district. Other than that, Mr. Pendle, we're very pleased, very happy with our schools, and as we close the school year, we look forward to graduations, and of course the college gala this Thursday that we also look forward to. But all of our success is thanks to the wonderful people that work in our school districts for our students, and I want to thank them on behalf of the administration and of course our community, fantastic people that we serve. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Dr. Martinez. And that was a great awards assembly we had the other night over at Horizon High School. Very, very nice. Speaking of recognition, we have another item on our agenda tonight. Recognition for 2 exemplary Clint ISD students at the Region 19 commencement celebration.
Thank you, Mr. Pendle, members of the board. This time I transfer over to Ms. Parker. Ms. Dr. Klein, who will be in charge of telling us all about this 2 students and why they're being recognized today.
Good evening, President Pendle, Dr. Martinez, members of the board. Our Business Services Department is made up of several dedicated teams, and one of these exceptional teams is federal programs. Finance is fun, but whenever it involves students, it just warms my heart, so I'm very happy to be up here this evening. Under the leadership of Mrs. Williams, this team has a unique opportunity to work directly with students and families. Their focus extends beyond the classroom, supporting academic enrichment from elementary, middle to high school, while also providing valuable activities and resources that help prepare students for life after graduation. Tonight, we are proud to recognize 2 outstanding students. To introduce them, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Angie Venzor, one of our federal program specialists, who's had the privilege of working closely with these 2 remarkable young men. Ms. Venzor?
Good evening, President Pendle, Dr. Martinez, and members of the board. In my 15 years working for Clint ISD, I have been blessed to work alongside many wonderful students. Today, it is a great honor to be here to recognize 2 amazing Clint ISD students. Despite navigating many challenges in their lives, they have persevered and grown so much, not academically, but also in their personal lives. It is always rewarding to see our students graduate from high school with tremendous success. However, it is impressive to see students grow and develop into strong members of our community. Today, we are here to recognize 2 exceptional students, Mr. Marcos Amarripa and Tristan Rodriguez Castillo, who have consistently participated in Region 19 supported federal programs in Clint ISD this school year. Both students participated in various leadership conferences, educational field trips, and enrichment activities during their tenure as Clint ISD students. These students were selected by their teachers for their leadership, skills, and collaboration and teamwork abilities to their continuous focus in high achievement in school, and were acknowledged this Saturday, May 10th, as in the 2025 ESC Region 19 Graduation Summit. I would now like to share a short video on each of them.
Hi, my name is Marcos Amarripa, and I currently attend Clint Early College. I am 18 years old, and I'm involved in the Intramurals Club, which is a sports club, and the decorating committee where we decorate for like prom and homecoming activities. I've also been involved in football, soccer, basketball, and baseball. During my free time, I like to play basketball and football and relax and watch TV. I also like to spend time with my family, and I've recently been playing baseball with one of my friends for a team called the Sun City Spartans. My most important and memorable moment in high school has been when it's time for the school's basketball games against other early colleges. I would say it's the most memorable because it's what I look forward to all year. If I could go back in time and give myself advice, one thing I would tell myself is to turn in every assignment on time and not procrastinate because it just puts more stress on you. So now that I'm graduating, I'll put my best foot forward to turn everything in on time for next school years at UTIP. My immediate plans after graduation are to attend UTIP and continue my education in mechanical engineering. I want to be a mechanical engineer because, one, I love math and I also love to work with my hands. My future goals are to earn my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and become the first person in my family to graduate from college. I will also be an example to my siblings that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Lastly, this award means a lot to me because it feels good to be recognized for everything that I've accomplished during my school years and all my hard work and dedication has paid off. I would like to thank my teachers and my parents, Marcos Amarripa and Veronica Gonzalez, for the love and support and being a big part of my educational journey. And finally, I just want to say we are 19. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tristan Rodriguez and I currently attend Horizon High School. I am currently 18 years old and involved in student council, track and field, choir, and JROTC. But throughout all my high school years, I tried almost every sport except golf or baseball. During my free time, I like to work out, do crazy flips. When I'm not doing that, I'm reading the Bible and getting spiritually stronger. When I'm not doing that, I find something new to do. With technology and YouTube, learning to do anything is just a video or a search away. I've learned how to crochet, play new things on piano and guitar, and I just like being busy in my free time and learn something new. This said, my high school years have been filled with many memorable moments and filled with great friends and teachers. I'd like to take note of the very first time I went out of town for a wrestling tournament. It was a trip to San Antonio. This meant a lot to me because I've never traveled farther than my grandma's house, which she lives 20 minutes away. I didn't know school could take students so far out for an activity. I had so much fun with my teammates, and throughout the trip, I couldn't believe you just could travel so far, and I filled my gallery with a bunch of pictures of San Antonio. It's a privilege to travel to other places, and I'm very grateful for all the opportunities I've had to do it because of the school. When I first went on a plane to UT Austin for a college tour, it was also amazing. Most of my family members haven't even had the chance to be in a plane. These experiences of traveling without the feeling of being limited on resources and feeling you can't inspire you to want to get more of them, to work harder so that you're in a better status where you could travel more and do things like that. If I could go back in time and give myself advice, I would tell myself to just keep going. God's got a plan and you got this. This would greatly have changed my life. Because even as a kid, I would feel limited to do certain things. In our first house, my mom made the best out of a small amount of money. And it was hard to even have money for like a $20 t-shirt. I needed for school. Always felt limited. It changed when I was in high school, and I saw that if we kept going, things will get better. We're in a house now that is twice as big as the one before. God had a plan. Sometimes I felt limited to do anything more than just school because maybe we won't have a way to take me to the event. But everything somehow worked. I became a good cross-country runner because I'd bicycle or run to school to be able to make it to the events or find a ride. There's always a way. Just sometimes you have to try a little harder. My immediate plans after high school are to work and go to college. To be able to break the cycle of just having to work harder than others for a smaller pay. My future goals are to be in a life where I'm in a better position than my parents were in. They really tried their hardest and sacrificed a lot in order for me to have a better life, to not just depend on and live a life from paycheck to paycheck, to be able to enjoy its privileges without feeling limited because of money or lack of resources. Lastly, this award means a lot to me because it makes me feel that my effort and my family's effort is being seen by others. It shows that even if you don't have the highest grades or in the most recognizable position, you can be acknowledged for your effort and be given motivation to keep going. I want to thank all my teachers and my parents especially for the love and support. Each one of the teachers that somehow motivated me to keep going, they all believed in me. And if it wasn't for their encouragement and help me throughout the school day and the motivation of my family on the time out of school, I wouldn't be where I am. And finally, I just want to say, we are Region 19. Thank you.
Marcos Amarripa will be graduating from Clint Early College Academy, and Tristan Rodriguez Castillo will be graduating from Horizon High School this school year. I want to wish you both the very best as you embark in this new chapter in your lives. Our best wishes for a bright future ahead of you. I would now like to call them up to be acknowledged by the Board of Trustees.
We will first recognize Marco Zamarripa. Thank you. One more round of applause. And next we will have Tristan Rodriguez Castillo come up. Marco, if you'll join him for a picture, and Laura also if you'll take a picture with him. And while they're getting set up, I do want to recognize that both Marco and Tristan's family are in the audience, and we'd like to give them a round of applause also. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you again. Congratulations.
We'll take a short break so that they can take some more pictures if they'd like to. So, be back in about 5 minutes. Okay, we're back from our break at 6:23. The next item we have on the agenda is a presentation, Strategic Staffing Pipeline to Leadership. Dr. Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Pendle, members of the board. Ms. Parker will present this item. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Ms. Parker's last board meeting, so I'd like for us to please give her a round of applause and our thanks for her many years of service to us. So, congratulations, Ms. Parker.
Thank you very much. It's bittersweet for sure. But I'm sharing some good news, so I'm excited. President Pendle, Dr. Martinez, and members of the board, I'm pleased to present an update on our strategic staffing initiative, Pipeline to Leadership, which has been underway this school year. As you know, we've seen notable increases in teacher retention in recent years, and here in Clint ISD, we believe that the teacher incentive allotment has contributed significantly to this positive trend. However, we also recognize that many of our talented teachers are eager to take on greater leadership responsibilities. So this presents a key question. How do we retain these exceptional teachers in the classroom while also leveraging their expertise and leadership skills to support their colleagues and students? To address this, Clint ISD was selected to participate in a strategic staffing pilot focused on cultivating a leadership pipeline while effectively utilizing the expertise of our outstanding classroom teachers. We've been engaged in this important work for approximately 1 year and are grateful for the invaluable support of our partners, the University of Texas at El Paso, US Prep, CREED, and the El Paso Community Foundation. When I think about the core values in Clint ISD, innovation comes to mind. And when you think of innovation, you probably think our robotics, our drones, all of the amazing fine arts programs that we have. But did you know that we've also been innovative in our thinking when it comes to staffing? And this is the work that we've been engaged in this school year. So our goal is to ensure that all students have access to effective teachers. The slide just shows that research shows the most important factor in student success is the classroom teacher. The Pipeline to Leadership works to increase the number of students who have access to that effective teacher. So we want to increase and strengthen the teacher pipeline and expand the impact of effective teachers and promote teacher development. And by the end of this presentation, I think you'll get a clear picture of where we're going with this. So I had 5 objectives, and objective 1 was to recruit candidates from and advise aspiring teachers to high-quality teacher preparation programs. I have a green check mark next to that because that is our minor teacher residency program, and it is actually part of a strategic staffing model. This year, we implemented the release time mentor strategic staffing model, which was the mentor teacher, which is now called the host teacher, has a resident in their classroom. And then for 6 to 8 hours a week, that mentor teacher, who has been vetted, and majority of our mentor teachers are TIA designated teachers, they're vetted to support and released from the classroom for 6 to 8 hours a week to support other teachers in their development. And so that was something that we embarked on this whole year and was quite successful. And objective 3 was what we're working on this year, 3, 4, and 5, to redesign our school staffing so that we can have an impact of effective teachers and then promote teacher development. Objective 4 was to look at our schedules and to see how we can maybe adjust our schedules, our planning time, so that we can, again, use these effective teachers to support maybe in the PLC process or to coach another teacher during that time. And then objective 5 was to align the compensation with this redesigned staffing situation. And so really making sure that they can receive the compensation as leaders for these extra responsibilities. But as we wanted to make sure that it was something that was going to be sustainable, and we are going to talk a little bit about that as well. And all of this is aligned to our district framework. This is Lever 5, Priority 2, Instructional Leadership and Capacity Building. So this is what we aim to do, not just our people who are already in leadership roles, but teachers who are sitting in our classrooms. How do we build capacity with their knowledge and expertise? This is the timeline. We spent 6 months in pre-design, and really that was 6 months of just trying to wrap our brains around it. And so involved in this process was not only our pilot school principals after they were selected, but also members of our HR department and members of cabinet. Our chief financial officer was also very much involved in this as well, Dr. Klein, and then informed cabinet and principals along the way. So that 6 months was just really learning about strategic staffing, what it could look like in our district, and then collecting the data, focus groups, interviews, surveys, and just so that we could see what we felt that the schools needed at that time. And then started to begin that initial brainstorming of what that planning could look like. This year was our first year in design. This is our design year, and we spent 3 full-day design sessions really looking at what they look like at the schools. Each school, pilot school, had their own design team. It was made up of the principal, assistant principals in some cases, curriculum coaches, and classroom teachers. So really hearing from their perspectives on what they needed as the campus. We had in-person training and planning sessions, and then we had virtual check-ins. And those virtual check-ins were very critical because along the way, we're also creating written documents that are going to guide us through this process and what each person's role will be. And then, of course, we shared with cabinet and principals and just to get approval along the way. And then next year is the big year. This is the year where we put it all into action. This is our implementation year. So I'm excited to share with you where we are in this process, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about all the great things that are going to happen next school year and the years to come. This timeline just shows what those design sessions were broken down into. So like I said, that first one, we're really just looking at what pipeline to leadership is, reviewing the data. At this point in October, we had data collection, we had survey data, and we started to really look at what is it that we can do for our school that will impact our school immediately, support other teachers, and then are there things to our schedule, our master schedule, that we need to refine. Design session 2, remember these are all of our schools together, and we tried really hard not to be involved. We kind of sat in the back, threw our 2 cents in every now and then, but really it came from the schools and their needs based on their data. So design session 2 was really, again, looking at their plans, talking them through, and then starting to talk about what training would these roles need? What would these people who are going to be into these roles, what support would they need? What training would they need? And how can the district help them with that? And then creating job descriptions and talking about compensation. And those were all doozies of conversations right there. Then design session 3 was really looking at what's that selection process. How do we determine who gets to be in these roles? And then again, solidifying the training and support. And how are we going to communicate it to our schools? Why do we have these roles? What are the purpose of these roles? And then who can apply for them? And then, of course, launching them. So these are our 3 pilot schools: Desert Hills Elementary School, Carol T. Welch Elementary School, and Ricardo Estrada Middle School. And what we found with the 2 elementary schools, as well as our middle school, but what we found with the 2 elementary schools is they had a lot of the same data in common. 47%, 49% at Carol T. Welch, 47% at Desert Hills, teachers felt like they needed more opportunities to be able to take on leadership roles, and that's awesome. But they also noted a need for differentiated PD. And I think those of us in education know that sometimes we have a one-size-fits-all for professional development, but how can we think outside of the box and give groups of teachers exactly what they need that they can turn around in the classroom immediately and make those gains that are necessary? They also looked at their achievement data. At Desert Hills, it was 3rd and 4th grade achievement in math and reading that they wanted to focus on, and at Carol T. Welch, it was 3rd grade in math and reading. Ricardo Estrada Middle School, again, the same. They really wanted to have the opportunity to have leadership roles. They also felt like they needed more support and coaching to improve new teacher retention. How do we keep those new teachers who are on board that might have that struggle that first year? How do we keep them through the years to come? And that support and coaching has proved to be beneficial. And then how do we support our special populations in student achievement, whether it might be special education or our bilingual students? And then improving 8th grade social studies was another main focus. So down below, you'll look at the arrows and you can see what roles they've created. So Desert Hills and Carol T. Welch, we decided to keep it the same name because the role was so similar. They're called Learning Development Facilitator And what their role is to support, at Desert Hills, they're going to support second and third grade in the area of reading and math. So they'll have 2 second grade facilitators and 2 third grade facilitators. One will be for reading in second grade and one will be for math. And in third grade, one will be for reading and one will be for math. At that time, their role will be to have some release time during the day so that they can work with identified teachers who need their supports. They'll also facilitate in the PLCs where they're looking at data, and they'll also help support with that differentiated professional development that's needed at those grade levels. The same model is very similar to Carroll T. Welch, but their data shows first and third grade is the need. When you get to Ricardo Estrada, they did a really great job of identifying their needs and created the partial release instructional coach, which is going to support RLA and social studies. So they'll have one for RLA and one for social studies. So those coaches are already coaches on the campus. They'll coach part of the time, for part of the day, and then they will teach part of the day in those areas. Then they have identified department mentors. At the high school, you see like department heads. And so this role is to really support in certain areas, taking that, that expertise of that department mentor to support special education, mathematics, and science. So they will have 3 in those roles. So this is basically just our timeline after we finished all of our design sessions. On April 3rd, we had the principals record a video, which we're going to share with you today, that kind of gives you an overview of what they were looking for and their needs. And then, of course, we held ourselves accountable to have it edited, ready, applications open. This was a lot of work with, in conjunction with our HR department. And then we shared the position and application district-wide. We did keep it to just in-house into Clint ISD. Application closed, and then interviews were held April 23rd to the 15th. They submitted their recommendations. I think we've already signed all the PAFs, and now they've all been offered those positions. So this part is complete. So now it brings us to the implementation year, where we'll have a kickoff, really revisit our goals. What are the goals for this? We have, in conjunction with US Prep, they've designed guideline booklets for all of us to kind of go by. So we have everything in writing that we can refer to for our guidelines in this process. There'll be virtual check-ins, site visits, data collection, and then we're going to be talking about how to scale this to other schools who are interested and sustain this as a district. So now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Klein, who's going to talk to you a little bit about the compensation package.
Thank you. So during this process, the main goal was to stay budget neutral. This is a very big push from the TEA. They want strategic staffing. How do we do this with our budgets? How do we create leadership opportunities? But the main reason that this is a pilot is we are investing money into this because there is a lot of work that's gone into the creation of it, this implementation year, a lot of data collection. So these schools are working through all of that. So we have and we will propose as a consent agenda item to add stipends to these positions. But one of the first things that we did, and you'll see on the left side of your screen, we started talking about what type of stipend, how much do we want to give? Of course, we'd like to give 10,000, but that's not comparable to others. So if you just notice here, we started looking at the daily rates of positions. So a teacher's salary from minimum to midpoint, working 187 days, we know they work more, but if we just look at that daily rate, $321. Then we looked at our curriculum coaches that we have on campus, and they have the same daily rate, $321, but they work more days per year. Their contract is longer. Then we started looking at our principals, assistant principals and principals, and you'll notice their daily rates here. You may notice that they are very similar to a teacher and to a curriculum coach. They just work more days throughout the year. So overall, yes, their salary may be higher, but their daily rate, for example, assistant principals, is very similar to a teacher. That's when we started reflecting a lot of maybe this is why people are not moving into assistant principal and principal jobs, because then if you add the teacher incentive allotment on top of a teacher salary, they are making a lot more than their APs and principals. So this was a great opportunity to give more pay and promotion to our teachers. Then we started looking at different stipends we already have. So as Mrs. Parker talked about, we have this residency program. We have mentors on campus already. A $3,000 stipend if they have a resident in their classroom. a $6,000 stipend if they have a resident and they're also coaching other people. But I do want to say that this has been grant funded. We've received a lot of grants from TEA to support this and from outside organizations. For our department chairs, that's only at the high school, $1,000, $750, and $500, depending on how many teachers, and then other additional stipends. So this really grounded us in what can we afford and what would be sustainable. On the right-hand side, you'll see what we came up with, and this is working with the principals. So at Ricardo Estrada Middle, you'll see that they will have 2 coaches. They currently have 1 who is a coach all day long. And what they decided is that coach will now teach half day, coach half day. And now we're adding another coach. So technically, we're working with the same FTEs here, but we're just splitting that position into 2. But we will add a $2,000 stipend if approved by the board this evening. Then for the department mentors, a $1,000 stipend, which is comparable to what a high school department chair does, but these individuals will have more duties, including coaching their peers. We are adding additional contract days just to the coach, the additional coach that we're adding, so that will slightly increase their pay. Overall, Ricardo Estrada will be about $14,000. At Carroll T. Welch and Desert Hills, very similar, but these LDF, that's what I call them, the LDF positions, they are still teachers, okay? They're still fully in charge of their kids in their class, but part of the day they're going out and doing leadership duties. They are coaching teachers. So that stipend is proposed to be $2,000 because of the additional work that they are doing. This will not only be during the day, they'll have to stay after school, they'll have to work evenings, of course, and then also adding some additional contract days, which will be similar to a coach. Not as many as the middle school, but similar. So at the elementaries, it is a bit more costly, $22,000, but because they have 4 people doing that role. Now, the kicker here is we started talking of where do we get this money? We're already looking, we're at a balanced budget for this year. It may not be that way for next year, and each principal decided this would come from their campus budget. And so when we were talking about that, the ultimate idea and goal here is if we're doing more coaching, more professional development, maybe we won't have to tutor as much. Our academic achievement will be higher from the start. We won't have to keep teachers for extra duty to keep that going. So it's really the principals rethinking their budget. It may hurt a little the first year as they figure this out, and to make this sustainable moving forward, we may have to decrease some of these, but this is really our pilot to figure out the work and help us to move forward. Are there any questions on these proposed stipends?
I do have a question.
Yes, at this time, the pilot is only for those 3 campuses as we collect all of the data. Then during this implementation year, we start working with our provider, US Prep, to figure out how do we scale this district-wide, where does the funding come from, and do we need to tweak anything throughout the process? Ms. Shea?
On the stipends, overall, is that monthly or yearly?
No, that's for the year.
That's for the year?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions?
Ms. Parker, I think there was one more slide.
So for 25-26, like I shared, we're going to really focus on the goals. There will be an implementation kickoff, and then the virtual check-ins throughout the year with US Prep and the site visits and the data collection. So by the end of this year, we'll have a plan to scale and sustain this, this pilot. I just want to leave you with the staffing video that went out to everybody in the district, because I think hearing from the principals, you can hear and see exactly what they were looking for and the reasons why. And we have no sound, Will. Try again.
The most important factor in student success is an effective teacher. Our goal is simple: to ensure that every student has access to high-quality educators who inspire and empower them to achieve their full potential. At Clint ISD, we believe in the power of great teachers. That's why we're looking for passionate, dedicated educators to take advantage of these new teacher leadership.
Okay, I won't touch it.
The most important factor in student success is an effective teacher. Our goal is simple:
to ensure that every student has access to high-quality educators who inspire and empower them to achieve their full potential. At Clint ISD, we believe in the power of great teachers. That's why we're looking for passionate, dedicated educators to take advantage of these new teacher leadership opportunities. Through the guidance of Pipeline to Leadership and US Prep, we are strengthening the teacher pipeline, expanding the impact of effective educators, and promoting teacher development through key leadership roles.
One of the key positions we're hiring here at Carol T. Welch is the Learning and Development Facilitator. In this role, you'll provide differentiated professional development through PLCs and after-school sessions for either first or third grade. It will involve planning, facilitating, and following up on professional development to ensure teachers have the tools they need to succeed. The Learning and Development Facilitator works closely with school administration to align professional growth with student success.
At Ricardo Estrada Middle School, we are looking for a department mentor in the areas of mathematics, science, and special education, along with a partial release instructional coach in the area of reading language arts. The department mentor will help support communication and alignment with our mathematics, science, and special education departments. This role is crucial in mentoring new teachers, ensuring they have the support and guidance they need. Department mentors help maintain alignment with campus initiatives, goals, and communication. The Reading Language Arts Partial Release Instructional Coach will provide professional and academic support for teachers. This role involves modeling, coaching, and mentoring teachers while continuing to teach part-time in a teacher of record role.
The Learning Development Facilitator role we are seeking at Desert Hills Elementary is a content area expert with proven results. This individual will provide content and grade level specific support to teachers in 2nd and 3rd grade. This role will work to improve student achievement results by building capacity of teachers and increasing the leadership team's capacity. The Learning and Development Facilitator reports to the curriculum coach and instructional leadership team, ensuring alignment with our school's educational goals.
Through strategic staffing, these reimagined teacher roles offer highly effective educators the opportunity to take on leadership positions while continuing to teach in the classroom. These roles come with additional compensation and qualify for teacher incentive allotment designations. Visit the Clint ISD Job Opportunities website and select strategic staffing positions to apply. Job postings open on April 17th. Don't let this opportunity pass you by.
You have any questions? That concludes. Whoops, here it goes again.
Any questions?
I guess I just had a quick comment. I think
Okay.
this is such a great example of how the programs that you, the rest of the cabinet, everybody involved puts together continues to make Clint ISD the employer of choice. So kudos to all of you on that. Every single time you guys bring any new initiative to the board, I'm always impressed. Thank you, Ms. Park, and everyone involved with this.
Yeah, it was a team effort. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing how it all comes up to fruition.
And I'd just like to thank you for all your years of service to Clint ISD.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate
Pendel.
you so
It's
much
been a
and
pleasure.
setting the foundation for the future here for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the administrative reports section of the agenda. Would any board member like to discuss any of the administrative reports?
No, sir.
If not, move on then to consent agenda. Would any board member like to discuss an item on the consent agenda?
No, sir.
If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion?
No, sir.
Okay, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say no. Consent agenda is approved. Okay, at this time, and the time is 6:47, the Clint Board of Trustees will convene in closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551071, consultation with Board Attorney, Section 551074, personal matters, Section 551.082, school children, school district employees, disciplinary matters and complaints, Section 5510821, school board personally identified information about public school students, closed meeting, following items will be discussed. Discussion regarding the appointment of the Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Curriculum and Instruction. Also, B, consultation with legal counsel regarding the SRO safety agreement for the 2025-26 school year. And C, discussion only regarding intruder detection audit report findings of May of 2025. No action will be taken in closed session. And we'll be back as soon as we can. Those of you leaving during the break, thank you for attending tonight. Okay, we're back in open session at 7:50. First item, discussion regarding the appointment of Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Curriculum and Instruction.
President Bendel, as discussed in closed session, I move to approve the appointment of Adriana Cantu as Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Curriculum and Instruction.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the superintendent's recommendation of Adriana Cantu as the new Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum as presented. Is there any discussion?
I just had a quick comment. President Bendel, Dr. Martinez, members of the board, I wanted to start by taking a quick moment to sincerely thank Ms. Parker for her years of dedicated service to Clint ISD. Her leadership has made a lasting impact on our students, staff, and schools, and we wish her well and all the best in her well-earned retirement. I'd like to just give a quick round of applause for Ms. Parker.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
There we go.
And then just one last comment. Clint ISD is fortunate to have a strong and experienced cabinet. Several members of this team were appointed by past boards, and I want to acknowledge the sound judgment they exercised working in consultation with our superintendent and legal counsel in assembling such a capable leadership group, many of whom continue to serve on this board today. While cabinet appointments are recommended by the superintendent, it's ultimately the board's responsibility to motion, second, and vote on those recommendations. Since 2022, this board has approved the appointments of Mr. Perallo as Chief Operations Officer, Dr. Klein as Chief Financial Officer, and most recently, Ms. Lucero as Chief Technology Officer. Each has made valuable contributions to the district's ongoing success. Alongside the rest of the cabinet, they reflect the strength and continuity of our district's leadership. And today's recommendation continues that standard. I look forward to welcoming Ms. Cantu to what I truly believe is an all-star cabinet. Their experience and leadership will be a valuable asset as we continue advancing public education and delivering essential services for our students and families rely on. With that said, I respectfully urge the board to support and approve this appointment. President Bendel, I have no further comment.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Guardia. Okay, we do have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. The ayes have it, motion carries.
Mr. Garcia, thank you for those comments. I just really appreciate it. That was very nice of you. Very kind. Thank you.
We have to go through the no action. Yeah. Next item, consultation with legal counsel regarding SRO safety agreement for the 2025-26 school year. There are no actions required. And finally, discussion only regarding intruder detection audit report findings as of May of 2025. No action is necessary. Okay, no motion adjourned?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, no objections. We stand adjourned at 7:53.
Ms. Macias, ready to go.